Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. EDDBUD here, and I've got another running shoe yay or nay for you. 4 shoes and a bonus shoe as well at the end, so stay tuned all the way through the video. I do appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and click that bell for notifications of when we launch the new videos. And it helps the channel out massively if you give this video a thumbs up like. Let's get to those shoes. Shoe number 1 today is the Triumph 18 from Saucony. So a brand new version of the triumphant Saucony Triumph series here, guys. It's landed and it's in the UK in several colourways this time. I think there's about 3 colourways. I particularly like the red version, but unfortunately it's some bad news on the weight front, which is one thing I kind of wanted them to reduce from the Triumph 17. It's a little bit heavier this time around. Saucony state that they've retooled the upper. Perhaps Saucony have got the Black & Decker workmate out and some tools and got to work on it and added some more weight, because that's what we all wanted, right? I think the previous version of the shoe was superb. I really enjoyed it. Sadly a little heavy and a little warm as well, certainly in these temperatures that we've got over in the UK at the moment, which are actually quite mild compared to the rest of the world. But still, we're all melting, so that's how it is. We'll keep on moaning about it because we're British, I guess. Well, I'm about 3/4 Polish, but yeah, you know what I mean. The new version of the Triumph, the 18, is noted as being 315 grams in comparison to 305 in the previous version. So, a little disappointed there. I don't know what it is. It seems quite similar in terms of the midsole. Does seem like the outsole rubber has changed. Perhaps that's had something to do with the increase in weight. We've still got Power Run Plus in the midsole. It's going to be super cushioned, of course, just like the previous iteration. You've got that lovely extra layer of midsole just underneath the insole. Really is a treat if you haven't tried it. The only real downside of this shoe is that price. At £145, it's a fair wodge of earth credits. When you think of the Hyperion Tempos, £5 cheaper, and then the Nova Blast, about £40 cheaper. I have a feeling that people will either opt for this shoe or the Endorphin Shift if they're looking for that kind of long run shoe. Even the Shift's going to be quite a bit lighter than this one, unless they're fully aiming the Triumph 18 now at the long run market. For the moment though, unfortunately it's going to be a nay from me on the Triumph 18. Certainly at the moment we're still looking at warmer weather and I just don't think I get the use out of it. Going to be quite a warm shoe, I feel. The second shoe on today's show is the Adidas Boston 9. It's finally here in the UK. I'm really very excited about that. I logged into the Adidas website just to have a look, hoping it was there, and it was. I felt like a child at Christmas. I've been looking out for this shoe for some time. Mesh upper there seems reminiscent of the SL20 in a number of ways. Similar midsole specs to the SL20 as well. A slightly lower drop of 9mm. And in the Boston 9 you're going to feel that a little bit closer to the ground. I'm hoping for some really great road response. Obviously boost and light strike in the midsole of the Boston 9, unlike the SL20 which has just got light strike. We have continental rubber throughout the outsole. Adidas are calling the upper on the Boston 9 microfit stretch mesh. So many different meshes these days. It's very easy to get confused and befuddled. Though I've got to be honest, it does appear quite similar to that used on the summer ready version of the SL20. I'm prepared to eat up that extra weight from that slither of boost in the midsole. I'm thinking that it could give me a little extra cushion for those long runs. What do you think, guys? Could this be the shoe for me for those long runs? And of course got my new favourite buddy, light strike, in the mid to forefoot area of the shoe. Only a tiny bit of extra weight from the added boost in the midsole. At £119, I've got to say that the Adidas Boston 9 is a yay from me. Shoe number 3 is another wild looking Adidas shoe. Some people have mentioned to me that they don't think this is a running shoe, but I certainly feel that Adidas are marketing it as such. The Climacool Vento certainly is characterful, interesting and unique. It features that same summer ready mesh that you'll find on the SL20, and there's some boost throughout the midsole. With that boost does come some extra weight though, and in the UK size 8.5 it clocks in at 327 grams, so it's going to be up there in the weight stakes. These rock in at the same price point as the Boston 9, which is interesting. They certainly seem to be a progression from the previous version of the Climacool, which was called the Vento, I do believe. I think that was out last year. There's a guy just driving a really loud motorcycle outside, so I gave him a few words of wisdom about clearing off so I can get on with my video. So I think the idea with this one is it's got vents across these side panels of the shoe. They run in sections there and allow some airflow straight through the shoe. Although I think you do need to remember that your foot's actually in there as well, so that's going to probably block out some of the airflow. There's a load of different colourways on this one, though it does seem to be a bit of a niche type shoe, though I can see it really appealing to people who live in very warm climates. But over here in the good old windy and overcast UK, I can't really see it doing a particularly good job for me. So for the Adidas Climacool Vento, for me it's going to be a nay. Shoe 4 is a Reebok shoe. It's a rehash of one they released back in 2010. This one's called the Zig Kinetica. Certainly another very interesting shoe from Reebok. Certainly pushing the boundaries a little bit. In fact, everybody's pushing the boundaries a little bit right now. This one's around about £100 on the Reebok website right now. Oh, actually, I think you can get it much cheaper than that on the Reebok website right now. I think it might even be discounted to £50. But normal retail's 100, and that's what I tend to look at. Apparently, these are inspired by space exploration and
other worlds.
Cosmic, as Rodney from Only Fools and Horses would say. As I say, this takes some design nods from the Zig Pulse, which was released back in 2010. You got an engineered seamless upper here with some neoprene pieces that appear to be around the heel area. An energy shell is present around the midsole. It does sound a little like a cage to me, which is to protect that midsole, provide a little bit of structure and durability. The midsole foam used in the Kinetica is called Float Ride Fuel. Looks like the cage doesn't flex, but it allows the foam to sort of compress, a little bit like a piston, I suppose. Looks like the rubber's laid out in bands across the outsole, and Reebok reckon these bands will flex a little bit and then return to their previous shape. It's kind of like a stretch and return kind of situation. Certainly an interesting shoe. It kind of reeled me in a little bit once I started reading a little more information about it. I kind of like the aesthetics of this one as well. It's kind of cool looking shoe. So I think for me, the Zig Kinetica, if I can pick it up for a good price, is a yay. A bonus shoe for you. One that's actually unavailable. I think it is a concept shoe. That is of the Mizuno Enerzy. I'm sure we'll actually see the Enerzy technology incorporated into some consumer-based shoes very soon. So loads of you sent me pictures of this one, said, Ed, talk about this one, make sure you include it on the channel. I couldn't help myself. A new interesting midsole foam. So it looks like there's two different variants of Enerzy. You've got the standard version and then Enerzy Core. The standard version of Enerzy apparently has 15% more energy return than foams previously used by Mizuno. They also suggest it's 17% softer. I'd love to know how they can quantify just how soft it is. Maybe they've got a man who has particularly sensitive fingers and they get him to press on the foam. Maybe he's got like really sensitive feet or something and he can just tell and give them a number. I think it is a little bit the Princess and the Pea type situation here. There's probably some device they've got that can do it, but I'd love to know where they get all this stuff from. I'm sure someone will get really upset now I've said that and that I'm taking the mick out of it all, but it is kind of funny, isn't it? Come on. I think that eating an extra slice of pizza could probably have a more detrimental effect to performance than the foam, possibly. So it does look to me that Mizuno are trying to counter some of those very cushioned high energy return foams that we've seen in some other manufacturers' shoes recently. I'm talking New Balance, I'm talking Saucony, Fuel Cell and Power Run PB. They're the words on everyone's lips. Oh, by the way, the Saucony Endorphin Speed finally arrived and I'm very excited to test them out. So look out tomorrow for my initial video on that one. There is another type of Enerzy foam though, and that's Enerzy Core. Apparently that's 293% softer than other Mizuno foams that they've used. And it's got 56% more energy return than those foams too. That man must have been really surprised when he touched the foam. Wow, 293% softer. Mizuno say that over 2 years of research went into getting these foam consistencies just right. So it doesn't look like that concept shoe will be made available to the public, but I'm very excited to see some new midsole foams on the market and Mizuno really pushing the boundaries. So what do you make of the shoes in today's running shoe, yay or nay? Are they a yay or nay for you? Let me know in the comments. It's time for a musical interlude. I've been listening to a singer called Johnny Rivers. He seems to be a bit unknown in certain parts of the world, but he used to have a knack of taking on other people's tunes and putting his mark on them, creating really great cover versions. One of my favourites actually is his version of Chuck Berry's Memphis, Tennessee. Oh, superb version. And he did a really good version of the Frankie Ford hit Sea Cruise as well. If you can hunt that out on YouTube, you won't be disappointed. So go and check him out. Fantastic singer, Johnny Rivers. Okay, that's all for today, guys. Thanks for watching through to the very end of the video. We really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications of when we launch the new videos. It helps the channel out a huge amount if you give this video a thumbs up like, and make sure you share it with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you